Welcome to the Wealth Transfer News. I'm Terry Sacka, Chief Strategist, and I'm along with Dr. Charles Vance. Welcome, Charles.
Terry, same to you, and welcome to everybody that's watching today. I hope you stay around for the next few minutes. We're going to get into some things today that will open your eyes, that will help you be a good steward of what's within your possession so that you can plan for your financial future in a way that you'll be assured that it's going to be solid and stable.
Absolutely. We've been talking about the last couple of weeks about distractions, about the sources of media that we're putting in. No different than what we put into our bodies, what we put into our minds, what we read, what we see, what we hear. And we're talking about how this distraction has caused a lot of us in the kingdom to be misled. We're believing the wrong sources. We're not preparing or protecting ourselves properly. We're being deceived even by some of those who are closest to us. So we have to be very, very cautious because this is not the time to take it easy. We cannot be complacent because Trump has won. I believe he's brilliant. I think the people around him are dynamic. I think we have the best chance to recover from what is getting ready to come, but it's still going to come. He's definitely outsmarting them. He really knows his stuff. But at the same time, this is an epic shift in the realm of America, let's say, and it's time for us to get protected. So, why we know this is coming is we let off last week. We'll just start off with it just to brief you, is we've seen very distinct periods of stimulus money, fake money printing into our economy. And this last time, we just kind of blown it out. So look at what led up to in the middle of this chart here, that led up to 2008 and then the collapse. It's not just Lehman and the derivatives to housing, because it is far worse today than it ever was in 2008. So I want you to see this briefly. Now, it's just, you can see in the middle hump is the 2008 and then the collapse. And look at the staggering money printing we've done on the right, all the way up and beyond. That has been why you see the stock market at 20,000 or near. Everything has been a fake. This is purely printing money. And during Barack Hussein Obama's tenure, he has been a president who has overseen a $10 trillion money printing, adding to our deficit, equal to all the other presidents before him. And that is the only reason why any of this looks remotely good.
Can I jump in for a moment
Absolutely.
and say, I don't think people that work on the front lines of the stock market really understand what they're doing, most of them.
No, because they're in the fiat world.
Exactly.
So, yes.
It's just like people that work at the bank. Have you ever asked somebody who prints the money at the bank, how much of it's printed? They don't know. They have a job. Yeah. And I don't think these people are doing this in a deceptive manner, but it's our responsibility as an individual. It's your responsibility
excellent point.
To know this stuff and not be led by someone else. One of my business partners in the past, I owned a construction company. For years, we did upscale construction. And he said, my dad always said this: if stockbrokers were so smart, why are they not all millionaires? But yet, we will take our millions. I've got a friend of mine that said, never trust your money to someone with less than what you have. But yet that's what most people do when they go to a stockbroker.
Now, and an average stockbroker, bless their heart, but they're making maybe $50,000 to $80,000 a year. I mean, exceptional ones obviously make more than that, but Charles is very much, on the money with that, because I don't believe it's really actionably deceiving. I mean, they have a job, they have families, they're just trying to make a living.
Well, the system is set up to do that.
The system is set up to do that. Yeah. That's why you can go to college for 4 years, never understand true monetary policy and gold standard, and you'll say, well, what do you do with your money? And it's always about a stock or a bond. Mm-hmm. And it's just like the worst thing you can do with your money.
And that's what they've been trained to tell investors to do.
That's right.
So they're not doing it in a deceitful way. They're doing it because they have been told that. Well, that's what we talked about on the program 2 weeks ago, what you listen to all the time.
And now with that, where you get educated.
Yeah.
So the reason this is so passionate for us is we know in the kingdom, we know that the data anyway is saying, it's not so much we or I, it's the data is screaming. It has been screaming since the fall of 2015 It's been artificially kept afloat with swaps, and our government's been buying the bonds that come due and then issuing new bonds simultaneously. And it's so fake and smoke and mirror. It's really horrible. And then yet at the same time, we're allowing all these illegal aliens to flood in, causing financial strain. We were having this Obamacare thing kick in that caused tremendous amount of strain, which is now being taken care of. But the point is, we really dug a deep hole. And I think the National Socialists were making a movement to try to overtake the Western world. They were using Islam to do it in Europe. Europe's pretty much destroyed anyways. Ask any typical French or German. But America, they still had to break us down. They have not. They still have not gotten our guns. And an overwhelming majority of you, especially the ones paying attention, got out and voted. Thank you, Evangelical, for that. But this time around, we have all this data. And so what we were showing you on the money printing chart was showing this is what has been happening the last 7 years. And then, of course, just the last year or so, a lot of accounting, off-book accounting. And why do you think, for instance, corporations, you think these corporations are really doing good? No. What they've been doing is something called stock buybacks. They've been borrowing money at literally no interest rates, which isn't good, by the way. Do you think it's good? I don't. It can't. They're borrowing money at almost no interest rates, and they're buying the stock back that they issued in the market. Or they're taking their profits and buying stock. Now, IBM's been great at this over the last few years. Why? Well, by buying the stock back, it's taking the amount of stock that's out there and making it smaller, thus keeping the stock price higher, making it look like they're doing good. A lot of stock buybacks have been taking place, and the companies are not doing good. Over these last 8 years or so, the reason you hear about, oh, they're breaking earnings reports, they beat earnings. No, they didn't. If you take actual earnings projections in 2008, comparing to today, not even close. What they have been doing year over year is redefining expectation. So they've been saying, okay, well, this year we only expect X amount, and then they beat it and come close. So the point is, our economy is actually far worse off today than it has ever been 2005 or so. It just keeps getting worse. And so what I'm trying to do is illustrate, so we in the kingdom are not deceived. We are properly preparing ourselves, not just for what could be coming here soon, and I mean real soon, but for the long term. If you were in silver since 9/11, you would already be up 300%. And from here today, the silver price today, going just back to the highs it was a few years ago, 200% return. Think about the staggering amount of buying power that will offer you in your IRA or retirement account or your cash savings, let alone the inheritance to your family. So I want to show some more images here on the market system, and let's give you some comparison because we're talking about buying power. And Charles, we hit this a lot. It's buying power. It's not about what's written on that piece of paper. I don't care if you've broken even since 2008 or you're up 15, 20%. You're still not better off than you would have been in silver, of course, but it comes down to buying power. Back in the 2008 timeframe, gas was $1. Now it's $2.50. You think $2.50 a gallon's good. That's 150% more cost.
And is that not a mind manipulation?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, certainly, it didn't cost any more to get it out of the ground.
No.
So the price.
Well, cost went up. Inflation is why. And so I'm trying to get at here.
Right,
We're leading right into
and,
inflation.
And
everything became more expensive.
And simply because they keep putting more currency into the system.
Yes.
And when that happens, then there's less. You got to cut the pie smaller for everybody to still get a piece.
Yes, and so everything.
So you have to have more pieces.
Yes, and everything became more expensive. So clothing became more expensive, food. And so, like, here's an illustration, which I hope we never get to. This is like an example. There's a shopping cart full of money. Now, I'm not trying to make light of it, but in Germany, they actually would do that because it became worthless. What we're trying to illustrate, though, is that money has become far less in the ability for you to buy something. And the whole argument was, oh, but you make more money. But I'm here to tell you, and you know, that equation's not even close. So we do know that the data is saying otherwise, and we just want folks to be properly protected and preserved not just for the short term, but for the long term preservation of your retirement. And here's a good place to get started.
Cornerstone Asset Metals is here to help you secure your financial future by protecting and preserving your assets through silver and gold. The protection and preservation of your investment is our first goal. So we are here to serve you with honesty, transparency, and respect. And for a limited time, Cornerstone will waive your first-year transfer and setup fees when you roll over your current IRA into a gold or silver IRA. That can save you as much as $1,000. Take control of your future. Register on our website at cornerstoneassetmetals.com or give us a call at 888-747-3309. At Cornerstone, securing your future is our goal.
So as we're talking about buying power and what your dollar can buy you, let's give it a really simple example. Back in the 70s, when all this stuff started, when we started printing this fake paper money and we started getting off of silver as our real dollar. Back then, 1 ounce of silver and 1 paper dollar were equal. You could take the silver to the bank, exchange it for the dollar. That's what was known as the silver certificate at the day. Around that time, they each bought about 5 gallons of gas. It was fairly to say it was about 20 cents a gallon back then. So they were equal. And now what they did in the 70s, they took silver out of the paper dollar, and the dollar now became its own standard, called the dollar standard. Well, we fast forward to today. They both bought you the same amount of gas, and here's what buying power is all about. If you just saved silver your entire life, you would be so infinitely wealthy today. That's a fact. Because today, currently in 2017, you take that same silver ounce, not only can you buy the same 5 gallons of gas, you could buy roughly 15 gallons. Now, let's see, where are we at?
No. What are we at?
Just changed. So we're at 250, so 6, 7, 8 gallons.
More.
So let's say about 8 or 9 gallons. Yeah. So you could almost buy 75% more gas today than you did 40 plus years ago. That's phenomenal. That's buying power.
If you can hold that train of thought.
Let me just do this real quick then. The dollar bill, how much can you buy today? Not even a half a gallon.
Exactly. Now, somebody might ask the question, how did these ever get disconnected? Because the law was there had to be a specific amount of this setting in the bank for this being out in circulation.
Yes.
It couldn't be circulated because this was really an IOU. It was
the silver
for
ounce.
the silver.
That's
We've got
correct.
your silver in the bank.
Yes.
And this says we're holding your silver. You come and pick it up. All you have to do is bring the certificate back.
Yes.
And you can actually pick your silver up and take it with you.
That's right. That's when our money was real money.
How did it get disconnected?
Well, Nixon did it in the 70s when they came off the gold standard. And really what it was is we had printed more money back after World War II. Bottom line is we printed more money than we had gold backing it up. And French President de Gaulle in the 60s got wise to that. He said, well, wait a minute, you're getting a free loan and you're printing dollars that are not backed up by gold. So they started asking for all their gold back. And then other Europeans caught on and everyone started redeeming their gold that the U.S. government was holding for them after World War II. They're saying, you're right, these paper dollars aren't backed by gold. Let's get our money back. They started taking so much gold back. They redeemed well over 12,000 tons of gold. And mind you, after World War II, we had 75% of the world's gold supply. And
America was holding it because this was a safe haven.
Well, supposedly it was a safe haven,
Sure.
and everyone was afraid of Hitler. So, we said, well, hold it. Instead of transferring gold back and forth, we said, hey, I tell you what, we'll hold the gold. Let's just move the light paper money back.
So we just gave them the paper and said, we've got it holding it for you.
But then they caught on.
We started printing a bunch of it.
Yes, and they caught on. So in 71, Nixon came out and said, now this will be temporary. But they were trying to say that the people were using the currencies and gold to manipulate the dollar. No, the dollar was broke. The dollar was a sham, and we were done because we didn't have the gold. So he knew if they kept redeeming gold, we were going to run out of gold. And all of a sudden we would have been found out as a fraud. So in 1971, Nixon came out and said, we're going to temporarily go off the gold standard when downright knew it was permanent. It was a big sham on the American people. Now, mind you, you were distracted by Vietnam. You were distracted by social uprising with the hippies and all of that stuff going on, that big anarchist movement in the desert in the 60s and the 70s.
Now,
so that's why they were able to dupe you on it.
There is a deceitful twist with this, because the United States, although they had a company that prints the currency, the Bureau of Engraving, the currency does not belong to them.
Right.
They are being hired by the Federal Reserve Bank, which is the elite, rich, wealthy people of the world.
Right.
Not just Americans, but the wealthy people of the world own the Federal Reserve Bank. So the government is starting to make laws then that will be in favor of the bank. And someone might ask the question, why in the world would they do that? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, the banks run the world. And even Rockefeller said at one time, I don't care who makes the laws, as long as he controls the money. And the bottom line is the banks run the world. Now, they're criminal cabal. They are the Luciferians. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing we can do. We need the banks. But we should never have gotten away from the small town community bank, because that was true banking at the time, even though they were still taking interest from you. All I'm saying is this is done. And you don't have to, if you knew all for the years of data, you're going to find out. It's just a matter of when. The only thing we don't know is the when, but it's soon enough. How do we know? We can't even raise interest rates anymore, even if we wanted to. If we raise interest rates to 4 or 5% right now, we can't, by the way, but if we did, we would be paying as a government $1 trillion a year just for interest payments on our debt. You see, we can't afford it. So I know for a fact we will never really raise interest rates again, maybe but a couple points here and there. But remember, every time we raise the interest like a quarter point, it's almost like 50 billion more that we have to pay in interest payments. So it's about your buying power. What are you saving? And this is hard because we weren't raised, we were brainwashed by the banking cabal to fall in line as they stole our wealth through inflation, which was a wealth stealing mechanism. Nothing normal about inflation. It's a fallacy of Keynesian economics, which is what we are here in the West. And Keynesian was a socialist. So we should have been Austrian economics, which is really a gold standard per se, and it was about producing and saving. You know what's ironic? Those around Trump, pretty close to Austrian thinking. This is going to get interesting. Let me just say that.
It's reality.
Well, it's biblical. We didn't say that, but Austrian economics is biblical. That's why.
Well, it's real and it's honest.
It's honest, absolutely.
And this is not honest by any means.
And the best example of that, look at this. Here's a great example of this now. Inflation, they say it's normal. There's nothing normal about inflation. Inflation was designed to steal your family's savings and wealth over time. See, old world Europe, how families became wealthy is they transferred wealth from one generation to another and it kept growing. Here we can't do that because our buying power of this paper money keeps going down. So let's put this up so they can see that. That is a great, great example of it. So inflation is silently robbing you of purchasing power ever since they created it in 1913, Federal Reserve.
And this is just in 1998?
No, this is a comparison of 1998 on the left, what $20 would buy you in groceries in that cart.
Oh, I can remember.
Then in 2005, look at how many. It was
absolutely
half. Now look at 2014, not even counting 2017. That $20 bill buys you nothing.
Pretty much.
That is probably the best visual I can give you of your money over time. Now you can take that off. I'm going to say this.
And again, if people would be investing in this, listen, this is so confusing to people, and if you don't know anything about silver or gold or tangible assets, I understand that. But this can be exchanged for currency at a pawn shop.
Yes.
They'll give you the spot value of this. You can exchange it nearly anywhere. Gold and silver dealers are on every corner.
And here's the thing, this was in 1998, right? Let's just say 2000, 2001. It's all kind of relative. So here, this image on over my shoulder, all those groceries were in 2001, basically 9/11. If you had held silver in your savings and retirement since 2001, that $20 bill right now is worth $100. So instead of on the chart on the other side here, it's over there, on the other side, having nothing in it, if you had $100, I summarize you would have very close to the same full basket. Oh, that's shoulder.
Because tangible items trade for equal tangible items.
Yes, because this paper money buying power has been going down, and as this has been going down, the silver buying power was going up. And don't be fooled that right now today, the dollar says it's strong. It's not. It's only strong because the currencies it's weighted against are weak. So education is absolutely vital. We're here to help you and educate you. Cornerstone's still giving away a 10th ounce silver coin with that information of people protecting their IRAs. It's pretty exciting. Take a look at this. Be educated.
Cornerstone Asset Metals is here to help you secure your financial future by protecting and preserving your assets through silver and gold. The protection and preservation of your investment is our first goal. So we are here to serve you with honesty, transparency, and respect. And for a limited time, Cornerstone will waive your first-year transfer and setup fees when you roll over your current IRA into a gold or silver IRA. That can save you as much as $1,000. Take control of your future. Register on our website at cornerstoneassetmetals.com or give us a call at 888-747-3309. At Cornerstone, securing your future is our goal.
So this is real, what has been happening. This is not just something made up, or it's not something you write up on a piece of paper.
It's not my opinion.
It's not your opinion.
Right.
This is something that's reality.
Well, now, the image we just showed you, is that not reality?
Certainly it is.
How many of you back in 9/11 can remember how much $20 used to buy you? How much can $20 buy you today? If you had silver in savings since 9/11, you can sell your silver anytime. Sell it back to the dealer, Cornerstone, to pawn shops. Like I said, there's numerous ways you can just sell it, get currency back again. But yet, instead of $20, you would have $100 today, and you would still buy the same amount of groceries. That is real. Now, here's the sad part. That's your retirement. That's your hard-earned savings. Oh, by the way, let's not be selfish. It's your inheritance to your children's children's children. And if you don't have children, it's the tithing, the seed, and the offering to your church and ministry.
Well,
this is the real deal.
All of that together.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is real. So we in America have been duped in saving and investing in stocks, bonds, and this, and it's been a sham.
You know what's funny?
It's not buying power sustainability.
It's not funny, but if you get on the Federal Reserve Bank website, they actually call this fiat.
Well, they know. Yeah.
But the majority of people, when I said this in a financial seminar, fiat, in Canada, the woman that was interpreting for me in a French church, she didn't know what I said. And I said, fiat. I said it again. She still didn't understand what I said. I said, it's fake. And she caught the fake. But this actually means fake, fiat. And they call it fake.
And you know, they've done a good job because Americans are pretty duped over this, but you see Europeans, they're done. They're already National Socialists. So here's another example of what I mean. Now, here's the crazy thing. We're in an extremely deflationary period because baby boomers are stopping to spend the money they used to. So our economy is going to get worse because the main part of the money vein is starting to save more and spend less. So we're in a deflation period in an inflationary environment. And the reason we can't have deflation is because deflation in a Keynesian economics that we are here in the West will absolutely collapse the system. That's why I believe the 9/11 towers in New York, being our financial towers, tall buildings, it was ironic spiritually they got taken down. It was a warning shot. And yeah, it's been 16 years, but you know, things happen slow. But look at this next image here. This is true inflation from 1900 to the year 2000. And we can go to 2017 to give you an idea. Bottom line is, when they created this standard, the dollar was worth its weight in the ability to buy. The US dollar purchasing power during this whole century, as you can see. And yeah, Bretton Woods, things going on. The bottom line now, the dollar you hold in your pocket is worth 2 cents to what it used to buy you back in 1900. And that chart, it goes all the way through. It shows you the wars. It shows you how the Luciferian took over. And now, you can take that off. And now, your dollar bill literally is worth 2 cents to what it was back in 1900. Now, people say, yeah, but I make a lot more money than I do back in 1900. I've heard lawyers tell me that. I'm just here to tell you the equation to what you're earning to how much you're spending in taxes and goods and services isn't even close to what they had in 1900.
In the mid-'70s, my dad was bringing home right at $100 a week working as a crane operator in a local alloy steel plant. That same person today would probably make $1,000 to $1,500 a week. Same job. My dad and mom raised 5 people in that family on that income, and my dad always kept a new car, and we lived in a pretty new house, probably 1,800
Now think about that.
feet.
Even if you make $1,500 a week, that's a good income, right? Because that's $6,000, that's $70,000 a year.
Sure.
But $70,000 a year after taxes is maybe $50,000, and that's only $4,500 a month. And by the time you have a house payment, your car, you think 5 kids, clothes, food, and everything.
The grocery store.
Groceries.
Insurance.
Yeah, insurances and everything. So $4,500 doesn't even allow you with a family of 5 to get by. So you see, the narrative has always been a lie, but it was designed to steal the greatest nation's wealth without you knowing it. But the fact is, for those that just have been holding this, constitutional money, silver, biblical money, silver, we were infinitely wealthier. We're going to get more into some of this inflation and what's going on globally in the banking system next week. God bless you.
Check out the website. If you like this program, you'll love the website. That's wealthtransfernews.com. We're going to be back next week, same place, same time. Tell somebody about the broadcast. We'll see you right here.
Cornerstone Asset Metals is here to help you secure your financial future by protecting and preserving your assets through silver and gold. The protection and preservation of your investment is our first goal. So we are here to serve you with honesty, transparency, and respect. And for a limited time, Cornerstone will waive your first-year transfer and setup fees when you roll over your current IRA into a gold or silver IRA. That can save you as much as $1,000. Take control of your future. Register on our website at cornerstoneassetmetals.com or give us a call at 888-747-3309. At Cornerstone, securing your future is our goal.